Hi, I'm Heyzeus, and this video is about how a highly desirable, super expensive AK-47 skin is also an ugly piece of trash whose price actually demonstrates how crap it is. And to start off, I'm just going to do a simple comparison of two skins, specifically a Doppler Sapphire Karambit and a Blue Gem Karambit. Now, the Doppler here is worth about $2,000 cash, while the Blue Gem is worth more like $9,000 cash, although that will depend a lot on what particular Blue Gem you're getting. Now, both skins are blue, although I think most people would consider the Sapphire better looking, and both skins serve exactly the same role in game, but the Blue Gem costs significantly more, despite being a less nice skin at face value than the Sapphire, at least in my view. I know tastes will differ, but the reason for this difference isn't hard to figure out. Blue Gems are significantly rarer than Sapphires, so much so that any benefit the Sapphire might get from being better looking is cancelled out. And that basically covers all the factors that determine how valuable a skin is. It's a matter of how good something looks, plus how useful it is, multiplied by its rarity, or something along those lines. That's roughly what the equation would look like. But what I want to focus on is how one supposedly famous and high-end skin is actually borderline shit tier under this system, and the gun I'm referring to is the AK-47 Fire Serpent being used here by Seized at the MLG Columbus Grand Final. And I want to put how expensive it is into context, because if we look at the top 10 minimal wear AKs, we're looking at minimal wear by the way because factory new sometimes has some odd floats which skew its prices, the Fire Serpent is more than twice as expensive as its nearest competitor. And not only that, the next two skins below it are both operation drops, which are much rarer than skins from cases, and if we take those out, it's now more than 5 times as expensive as the next skin below it. And to me, this is a bit odd because I have an opinion about this skin, and I know some people aren't going to share it, but I'm going to tell you what I think anyway. I think this skin looks like garbage. I think it's a horrible, derpy looking lizard painted on it. It's in a horrible mix of colours. It's green and blue. You don't mix green and blue, and it doesn't even look good with stickers or something like that. It's just bad all around, and in my opinion, definitely the worst of the 10 skins that we saw on screen earlier. But anyway, the point of this video isn't for me to have a spaz about how I don't like this skin. My personal opinion doesn't count for shit, but I want to show you something interesting about where this skin really sits relative to the other AK skins. So let's go back to the skins we had up before, minus the operation drops and the case hardened because it's classified rather than covert. And we'll add in a couple of other covert AKs just to flesh things out a bit more. Now, all these skins have the same odds of dropping from a case, and as they're all AKs, they're all equally useful in game. In fact, the main thing that should be driving the price differences between each of these AKs is how good looking they are, and obviously there are a couple of other minor factors like what sort of float ranges they have and what other skins are in the case, but the biggest factor is going to be how good looking they are. And for the most part, I think the ranking here is pretty reasonable, all things considered. Obviously, opinions will vary, but this is at least a plausible order you could put these skins in terms of, best appearance. Except of course for that Fire Serpent up there, because I bet even the people who like it aren't going to claim it's 5 times better looking than the Asimov or the Empress, but obviously that's not the reason the Fire Serpent is so expensive. The reason is that the Fire Serpent is from the Bravo case. The Bravo case is one of the first cases to make it into CSGO, and these days they'll cost you about $15 a pop, which is a ridiculous price for a case. It's the most expensive ordinary weapons case in the game, and this is clearly the difference maker. Skins in cases are worth money because you have to pay $2.50 US for a key, and if the case costs extra money on top of that, well, the skins are going to be worth even more. And in the case of the Fire Serpent, with the additional $15 you need to pay for the case, well, that's the equivalent of having to pay 7 keys just to open one case. So the true cost of the Fire Serpent, if we're going to compare it to other AK-47s from cases, is actually only 1/7 of its face value. So if we factor that in, and also the fact that the Vulcan comes from a case that costs $1.30 for good measure, well, suddenly the Fire Serpent isn't on top at all. In fact, it's on par with the Bloodsport instead, and considerably below stuff like the Empress and the Asimov. And this is essentially the paradox of the Fire Serpent. it's simultaneously the most expensive AK skin, the AK skin most sought after by collectors aside from perhaps blue gems, the best AK skin for flexing, but simultaneously, it's also one of the crappier covert AK-47 skins out there. And I would wager that a big part of the reason that it's even competing with something like the Bloodsport anyway is because its price is inflated by its case, making it desirable to collectors and to people who want to flex in game and to people who just want to have the most expensive skins for reasons that aren't actually egotistical, which I think is just kind of nifty. We have a weapon that's somehow the best AK skin and also one of the crappiest AK skins at the same time. Skins are weird. Really weird. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video and want to support this channel, there are referral links for Loot Bear in the description. Use the code to get 10% off on a Prime subscription. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching. If you could like, comment, subscribe, that would be really appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. See ya.